There are calls for boycotting Netflix spreading all over Twitter. Yesterday, I saw that cancel Netflix was trending while we were live, so I knew we would have to talk about it, but I didn't know why. The reason is that Netflix co-founder Reed Hastings made a donation of $7 million to a super PAC backing Kamala Harris's presidential campaign. According to Variety, this was the largest single donation ever made to a political campaign by Reed Hastings. A lot of people got confused, and they were spreading an image around that reads, Netflix just donated $7 million to Kamala. Bye-bye, Netflix. They need to feel this, people. Cancel today. That is not true. Correct. Netflix, as an entity, did not donate $7 million to Kamala. I don't know if they would.
If the companies are smart, they're giving to both candidates.
Actually true. Yeah.
If they're smart.
But yeah, Netflix, the company, did not donate to the Harris campaign. He's just the co-founder. He's not even the CEO. I
would actually find it more a sign of cultural healing if they were just giving to both campaigns. All that proves is that they're doing what they're supposed to do.
Unity.
They're corporate entities, and their desire is to get the best of whoever wins.
Equal opportunity corruption.
And that they're, they're basically locusts, and they don't care, and that's fine. I don't expect a corporation. I don't expect a corporation to have, any type of emotional center around ideas. They just want what's best for the company. What's his name? David Zaslav was interviewed a couple weeks ago at one of these gazillionaire retreats that they go on. It's literally
they just call it that.
It's literally gazillionaires. They just go to these retreats and it's all the billionaires, the millionaires. It's not even the millionaires, it's the billionaires. And he was there and they asked him who he was going to vote for. He goes, I don't really care. I just want them to be, pro business. He's like, I want them to deregulate and let us do what they do best.
At least they're honest.
Yep.
Seems pretty like a pretty normal idea.
Well, I know Disney is still on the Watermelons for Palestine boycott list because they donated to humanitarian relief funds that some people interpreted that as pro-Israel nonprofit organizations. So Disney is still on the boycott list. Netflix isn't.
Explain to me the watermelon aspect, because yesterday at the pro-Palestine protest, I saw people holding up watermelons, and I was totally confused.
It's a sign.
You don't know the watermelon?
You don't know the watermelon?
No.
Okay, well, everybody on Twitter with the watermelon, their screen name, is using that to signal to everyone that they are pro-Palestine because it has the same colors as the Palestine flag.
Interesting.
So I had to decode that myself months ago.
Yeah,
That's what's been spreading around. They have the watermelon for Palestine boycott list. Disney's on it, Starbucks is on it, McDonald's is on it.
I was so confused. There was this woman at the pro-Palestine protest that was holding a watermelon above her head like this for an hour.
Yeah.
Just waving
Wait, an actual watermelon?
A real watermelon.
Okay, that takes some strength.
Yeah, I was impressed, but I was utterly confused.
That's a physical feat right there.
It was by the power of birth control and antidepressants. She held it over her head for an hour.
Yeah, they've been talking about these fake watermelons these days.
Oh yeah,
They're
did you see that they were using them till they make sandwiches out of them because they're so they're so bendy. They're not fake. They're just not ripe.
Yeah, another one of these images was spreading around. Netflix co-founder Reed Hastings donated to Kamala Harris. Repost if you think it's time to cancel Netflix. One of the comments said, if you have Netflix, you're essentially giving him money to give to Kamala. In an indirect way, that's probably true. Yeah. He probably gets salary bonuses based off of how profitable Netflix is in a given year.
I thought the point was that you're supposed, as long as it's not the corporation giving it to them, that you're supposed to, in polite society, let them donate to who they want to donate. And your decision to use Netflix would be based on whether they offer a service that you deem valuable.
Well, for a lot of people,
in a healthy society,
they have decided that Netflix is valuable enough to keep it in their lives for $15 a month.
Yeah, more than that now.
And watching their ads.
I almost feel like this is just a grand marketing ploy to keep Netflix relevant. Does anybody even pay for it anymore? Yes, it's like the worst streaming service.
Netflix is the only streaming service that regularly turns a profit. The only one.
Wow.
It's the only one that seems to...
The rest of them are losing a lot of money.
So they added 8 million new subscribers last quarter. They were only set to earn... make 5, add 5. They just are systematically removing people from their lowest. They got rid of the lowest tier ad-free version to try and push people to the ad tier, because the way to make money now is to give you a cheap ad tier that you can watch, because the advertising revenue plus you get the smaller subscription fee every month for that. I will never do that. I will.
Do you
never
have any streaming services?
I have HBO. That's
Okay.
about
Which
it.
is the one I'm thinking of getting rid of because it's the one I use the least.
Well,
these
why
days.
that
I love it.
one?
I just like it has Curb Your Enthusiasm, which I like. It has South Park, which I like to watch from now and then.
But the thing is, like, if you want the South Park specials, you got to go to Paramount.
It's
There's
so
just
annoying.
so
yeah.
many different layers
The
to it.
like the old like the reason to keep HBO is because it's got all of the Jack Ryan movies, which is funny because then the Jack Ryan TV show that John Krasinski made is over on Amazon, but the movies, you know, the Harrison Ford ones and such, are all on HBO. It's got The West Wing. It's got the old Mortal Kombat TV shows that were really bad that I liked, like Mortal Kombat Conquest and stuff like that. But I just don't use it enough.
Yeah, well, that's the same thing with Amazon. I got it for The Boys and
But you keep that for the
the
package
Invincible. Yeah, it's true.
It's not worth it.
Amazon's business model is perfect. You'll never get rid of it because then you won't get your 2-day packages.
I just use alternative streaming platforms like Freevee and Tubi and Roku TV. Those are the alternative streaming platforms that I use personally.
Unironically,
it's all I need.
Unironically, Roku is good. Roku is good because they have mastered
It's your weirdest take.
Because what these other streaming services do is they bog you down in like 6 ads per episode.
It's insane.
And a lot of them are like 30 seconds, but then there's some that are like 2 minutes long. Roku, it's almost always like a 30-second ad, and there's like 3 or 4 of them. But if it's a 45-minute episode of something, it just doesn't feel like very much. But if it's another show and there's like 3 30-second ones and 2 2-minute ones, I can't.
I want the Roku TV just for the Roku City thing that like
Yes.
goes on. It's so calming at night.
Really?
I just leave it on.
I kind of
I love it.
during lockdown I was watching it and it was all these like apocalyptic
I love it.
events and
It's
I was
the
like
robots.
I thought
What
it was
is
super
this?
wholesome. It's like a nice like mountain and volcano in the sea.
I kind of just like went through a
a
schizo break while I was watching the
There's also like deeply hidden, like when Barbie came out, there was Barbie ads in the background.
Oh,
of
really?
Things. Yeah.
But anyway, the
Subliminal
real
messages.
high IQ take here was you want to cancel Netflix because they donated to Kamala. I canceled Netflix because they made cuties. We are not the same. I know this also isn't true. Netflix didn't make cuties, but they platformed it, which is important. And a lot of people canceled it
That's
back
a
then.
distinction without a difference to a lot of people. That doesn't really matter to them.
We got a 20 from Gordon Shumway. I would say the Netflix boycott is petty, but as much as I hear my lefty friends ish talk Chick-fil-A and refuse to eat there because of who the owner donates to, this is just the norm now. I mean, I feel like a lot of these libs are closet Chick-fil-A goers at this point.
Oh,
I think they
totally.
decided the chicken was worth it. Like their principles buckled under the weight of
Look, you're going
next
for
Chick-fil-A
food
sandwich.
at night, and I'm sure. You know what? I'm sure
secretly love
I'm
it.
sure the Starbucks boycott gets broken a lot too.
Well, convenience trumps everything. I was covering the UCLA
That's true.
pro-Palestine protest. Every single one of the kids there had the keffiyehs on. I guarantee 90% of them came from Amazon.
Yeah.
You know, it's like whatever's convenient. They were all drinking Diet Coke or whatever, which I guess
That's
they're not
also
supposed
on
to
the
be drinking.
boycott list. I
Right.
think. Someone made an oil painting of a McDonald's Diet Coke, and I saw people quote tweeting it saying like, "Read the room. They're on the boycott list." Like,
I refuse to.
you're
look
not
at a
allowed to
boycott
paint
list.
a picture of a McDonald's logo because they're on the boycott list.
I'm just not doing it. You can't make me boycott anything. I won't. I
Have you
refuse.
ever boycotted anything?
No.
Nothing ever?
Like nothing consciously that I use has ever required such a thing. Nor am I going. I'm not gonna stop going to Target if I need socks. I'm sorry.
I did
I'm just
actually
gonna go.
specifically Target. I was like, I'm not going to Target.
You still
anymore.
boycott Target?
Yeah.
You're never
I
going
haven't
there
been
again?
back. That's like the one boycott that's been super successful. We boycotted the Dodgers. I gave a speech at like this big. Do you remember the Dodgers protests?
No.
They hosted these the Nuns of Perpetual Indulgence.
Oh, right.
That was a big protest. That was fun.
Yeah, I remember that. But how do you boycott a sports team?
I've been boycotting sports for like the last 10 years. So.
Sports as a whole?
I don't watch them. I don't go to the games.
Well,
but that's
okay,
separate.
There's a difference
I know,
between
I know.
boycotting
We're
and
talking
just
about
not being interested in the product.
project-
Like,
yeah,
I
products
never
you
needed
need.
to boycott Bud Light because I don't drink Bud Light.
Correct.
I'm not even the target demo for that. But I didn't even think to boycott Target after the tucking swimsuit controversy because I can't, like, I have to pick my battles and like that's just not one of them.
Yeah, I just don't care about boycotting. I get
Yeah,
it.
fair enough.
There are
I
so
get it.
many mega corporations that donate to Planned Parenthood. At a certain point, like there's a difference between, remote evil that has nothing to do with you, and things that are in your own circle of influence.
In your hyper-capitalist society where convenience is king, like you said, make your decisions wisely based on your values. It doesn't mean you can't, like maybe you try to soften the blow by also supporting products that are made by people who you do believe in. Obviously, Public Square has done a great service to people who want to support companies that hold strong American values. But most of the time, it's just not something that I consider, though I understand why a lot of people do.
Well, most of the times you end up boycotting the product because the parent companies own like all the stores. So you'd end up just boycotting
Nestle
one of
owns
them.
everything. All
Procter and Gamble and whatever the other ones are.
Like, yeah, you boycotted Gillette, which is owned by a bigger corporation, All the money is going to the same place. It's really just to make you feel better.
The illusion of choice.
It is. That's the what's his name skit from years ago. He's like, there used to be however many companies, and like it just gets smaller and smaller every year. You just can't, and I don't care.
Well, that's also what's happening with the streaming services, is that they're all kind of mushing together and like acquiring each other, and you can only boycott so many things before you just have
just a giant capitalist
dirt.
amoeba that keeps sucking them in, growing larger.
Maybe look at your boycott. Like, if you're gonna boycott responsibly, like don't just
boycott responsibly.
If you're gonna boycott, Gillette, go look at who owns Gillette, and then go look at the long list of products that is, it was that
it's
one
meant to make you
that was
feel
Procter and
powerless.
Gamble.
Yep.
Well, I did look at that list, and I looked around and saw at least 5 to 10 products that were on that list that people were not boycotting. So it's really, at the end of the day, it's to make you feel better.
And if you think you're gonna personally tank a company like Target by not shopping there, like, that's just delusional. If it's for your peace of mind, fine, go for it.
Do it for peace of mind. Do it because it matches your values.
Probably not going to have a real world impact. The Bud Light one was an exception, not the rule.
That one was very successful, but even they worked their way back. First of all, I saw Bud Light product placement in Twisters. Very, very well done.
Really?
Bud Light product placement in Twisters. It wasn't extremely obvious. I think they got, like, was it Post Malone was like doing ads for them now. Everyone loved
and the UFC, obviously.
Post Malone and UFC are like universally loved. Everyone loves Posty. So these companies always find a way back.
My favorite part of the boycotts, especially on the right wing, is like the day after the company's stock price will go down at like a normal amount, and they're like, "Look, guys, we got them. Yeah. Keep going." It's like, all right.
I'm guessing that this is. I can't see the chat right now, but I'm guessing this isn't the most popular opinion to the chat. But
I definitely don't think that you should be supporting streaming services. Because that's just rewarding them for feeding you slop.
The slop that you love.
There's always another way. Yep. There's always an alternative streaming platform.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media, and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.